Bear with us. And I'm glad to be in your company once again. My name is Nathaniel Atto. It's a 1:15 midday. And I'm glad to welcome you to the JoySportsLink here on Joy 99.7 FM. So thanks to the whole team who brought us news file, and of course the Joy News team for bringing us the midday news. It's time to jump into some serious sports business here on the JoySportsLink. This is how we always do it. And as you've already been told, today we host one of the finest defenders we've had in the history of the Black Stars team. He set a new standard when it comes to devotion to the national team and putting his nation first. The reason why he is one of the most capped players of the Black Stars team in its history. Of course, it's good to have him, especially at a time when we're building up to a double header of qualifiers for the next Africa Cup of Nations. Remember, the Black Stars need wins and only wins to ensure a safe place in Cameroon 2019. But of course, before that, there is a new twist to all of this. That game may just end up not being played because of the recent happenings in Sierra Leone, which we're going to go into very shortly. So John Painter will be my guest today. He's a retired Ghanaian professional footballer and once an assistant manager at Kaizer Chiefs Football Club in the South African Premier Soccer League. Started his career here in Ghana with Brekum Arsenal and of course Liberty Professionals, where after he played for Wisdew Lodz and then moved on to Israeli club Maccabi Tel Aviv in the year 2002. And during his tenure there, he helped the team to win both the Israeli League and led the clubs to the Cup semi-final title as well. And of course, he made 46 appearances and 5 appearances in the Champions League as well. John Painter will be our guest here in the studio later on. Of course, we'll be telling you as well about his exploits at the FIFA World Cup and, of course, what he's been able to do away from the Israeli League and the places in the English Premier League, as well as others, until his retirement and the decision to become a football coach. Before we do all of that, we'll be taking you all the way to Sierra Leone via the phone to tell you what the latest situation is regarding the Football Association, because in the hours of yesterday, FIFA suspended the Sierra Leone Football Association over government interference. This is not the first time we're hearing this on the African continent, and of course there is every reason to be worried, especially considering that the Black Stars of Ghana are playing Sierra Leone on October 11 and on October 15. Now, if this ban is not lifted before October 11, Sierra Leone's 2019 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Ghana will be cancelled. So we'll be going over to Sierra Leone to speak to some colleagues of ours to gauge the situation there. Would also take you through what's happening in the English Premier League. Jose Mourinho to be sacked or not to be sacked? Well, latest information we're receiving is saying that Manchester United have said that it doesn't make sense to suggest that Mourinho is about to be sacked. Well, not the best days for the Reds at all, but we'll be doing some analysis as usual with our partners in a bit. But the gentleman I've been talking about severally is already here in his all-black apparel, and his collar is up. So for those of you who are joining us via our Facebook page, Joy 997 FM, you're all welcome, and thank you very much for joining us on the show. John, great to have you here in the studio.
Thank you, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm great. It's been a while. I haven't seen you here like 2 years?
Yeah. I think, you're right.
Yeah. Sure. Okay, so very shortly we'll be getting on the phone line to speak to our colleagues from Sierra Leone and have a feel of what exactly the situation is. But let's just quickly put this in context. Now, FIFA suspended the Sierra Leonean FA from international football because of government interference in the running of the country's football association. Now, this ban comes after the country's anti-corruption commission Commission, ACC, barred 2 leading Sierra Leone FA officials from the governing body's offices. Now, in a statement, FIFA said this suspension will be lifted once the SLFA and its recognized leadership have confirmed to FIFA that the SLFA administration, premises, accounts, and communication channels are under their control once again. And this is a part of the statement issued by FIFA yesterday. Now, if the ban is not lifted before October 11, Sierra Leone's 2019 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier in Ghana will be cancelled, and it's in plain ink. Now, the Lone Stars were scheduled to travel to Ghana to face the Black Stars in Kumasi and the return leg in Freetown 3 days later. Now, the ACC says that under Sierra Leone law, both the SLFA President Isha Johansson and the General Secretary Christopher Kamara must vacate their post until the case on corruption-related charges are concluded. Now, both Johansson and Kamara have denied any wrongdoing. Meanwhile, the government has claimed that it had nothing to do with the ACC's actions, and FIFA outlaws undue influence from any third party. So in this case, the Anti-Corruption Commission of Sierra Leone is the third party who are unduly influencing, football matters in Sierra Leone. But of course, this is not the first time we're hearing of this. I mean, here in Ghana, we're having to deal with our own issues. We've heard those in Benin, we've heard those in Nigeria, and of course, Nigeria have had at least 4 bouts in the last decade or so when it comes to issues of running football and corruption and what is sometimes termed as government interference. What is the problem at all? We'll be getting on the phone lines very shortly to speak to, our friends there. But for now, we'll take a listen to some analysis of what's happening in England and, for that matter, the rest of Europe with George Addo Jr. and our partners, the BBC. Enjoy.
Thanks for your time this weekend, and let's begin with midweek Champions League action. Are Liverpool fans down here justified to panic following their team's performance in the last 3 outings?
You're right, it wasn't a great performance in midweek by Liverpool in the Champions League, was it? We've got used to a brand of free-flowing football by Jurgen Klopp's side, with lots of goals, lots of excitement, lots of pace. And the performance at Napoli on Wednesday seemed to be a bit flat, wasn't it? In fact, they didn't record a single shot on target all match. And then, of course, they conceded that last-minute goal, which gave Napoli the 1-0 win. Before Wednesday, they played back-to-back games against Chelsea. They lost 2-1 in the League Cup, and they needed a really late goal from Daniel Sturridge in the league fixture to steal a 1-1 draw at the end. So these aren't the exciting performances we've become used to seeing from Liverpool under Klopp, as we say. But I think that late goal from Sturridge in the league game against Chelsea showed another side to Liverpool this season, so the fans shouldn't panic yet. They managed to get something from a difficult situation, a difficult game, and that wasn't something that they were really able to do last season. So I think that's the mark, the proof, if you like, of a title-winning side, the ability to pick up points in difficult games, in difficult circumstances. So I think the Liverpool fans shouldn't be too concerned at this stage of the season yet and still be quite hopeful.
Well, it's not been smooth sailing for Manchester City, who had to labour in producing the much-needed win at Hoffenheim. Is Pep Guardiola's failure to play pragmatic football the reason why he has failed to win the Champions League since 2011?
Yes, Manchester City needed a late winner from David Silva, didn't they, on Tuesday to win their match at Hoffenheim. They actually fell behind in that match in the opening minute, a real lapse in concentration. They had to rely on Sergio Aguero to draw them level before that Silva goal. And they really needed that win as well after losing to Lyon in their opening match in Europe this season. As you say, Guardiola hasn't won this competition for some time now. And his recent record with City in Europe won't sit well with him either. They've lost 4 matches in a row in Europe before that win on Tuesday. Perhaps Guardiola wants his team to play a certain way, as you say, and maybe that can be detrimental. We saw in the quarter-final against Liverpool last season, didn't we, that they didn't really seem to have a plan B when things were going against them. Maybe as well, though, other teams in Europe raise their game for matches against Manchester City. They're the English champions, of course. They boast such a wealth of fantastic players. It isn't hard to imagine that players will get and teams will get really excited about playing against them. What we can say, though, about Guardiola and City is that their desire to win the Champions League this season and in recent seasons coming up is obvious and really apparent to everyone. Guardiola lifted the trophy twice with Barcelona. He and the club will be desperate for him to repeat that feat at City.
English Premier League next, and we have a blockbuster to look forward to in Liverpool, Manchester City. It's been a long, rough road for Liverpool. Will they have enough in their tank against City?
You're right, it's been a long week or so for Liverpool, hasn't it? Those back-to-back matches against Chelsea, as we already mentioned, before that defeat at Napoli in midweek in the Champions League. They've also had one less day to recover and prepare for this match in contrast to Manchester City. They played away in Europe on Wednesday. City played at home on Tuesday, so will tiredness be a factor in a match? We don't know, but it is one that's likely to be fast, lots of energy, and possibly decided on small margins. But Jurgen Klopp's side have been a bogey team for Pep Guardiola recently, as we said. They've won 3-1 matches last season when they played against them, 1 in the league, 2 in Europe. So even with a disappointing trip away in Europe this week, I can't imagine that Liverpool won't be up and confident that they can get a result on Sunday.
United fans are still not happy, and expecting a wonderful atmosphere at Old Trafford when they face Newcastle is a big ask. Is there anything Jose Mourinho can do at this stage to win them back?
You're right, his relationship with the fans has reached an all-time low, I think it would be fair to say. There were some boos, not a lot, but some fans did boo at full time in their 0-0 draw with Valencia at Old Trafford in midweek. That's not something we've really seen from the fans before, and afterwards when the manager was asked about it, he said the fans should be allowed to express themselves because of freedom of speech. He's now the holder of a really unwanted record in the league as well. Under him, his side have made the worst start to a Premier League campaign in United's history. They've lost 3 matches in the league, and the thing that upsets the fans is not just the defeat, but the manner of the kind of football that they've been playing has really been troubling them. Also, his relationship with some of his players. There's been that very public spat with Paul Pogba, of course, but also some of his criticism of Luke Shaw in the last season or so hasn't been received very well by some of the fans. So for them, you can imagine that Mourinho in their eyes is running out of chances, as you say. They play Newcastle on Saturday. The fans would normally expect a comfortable home win against a side like Newcastle, who haven't won yet in the league this season. But they will need a big performance from the players and from Mourinho. They will expect not just a win, but a big win. And I think that's the only thing that's really going to keep Mourinho at the club really at the moment. Otherwise, he could really be in big trouble.
Finally, which games will you be keeping tabs on this weekend in the EPL?
Well, as we've already talked about, the blockbuster this weekend, you really can't see beyond that top-of-the-table clash on Sunday between the joint leaders Liverpool and Manchester City. They're both unbeaten in the league this season. This really could provide an early twist in the title race, even at this early stage of the season. And Liverpool have recent history against City on their side, as we said, so expect lots of goals in that one. Also keen, as we say, to see how United get on at home against Newcastle, with all that pressure on Jose Mourinho for his side to perform well and win big. And so behind those top 2 teams, I'm keen to see how the three teams chasing them might get on in their games, to see whether one of them might be able to take advantage of a defeat for Liverpool or City. Chelsea, they're still unbeaten in the league, of course. Let's see how they get on at Southampton. See if Tottenham can get over their disappointing defeat to Barcelona in midweek when they lost at Wembley, with a win at home to Cardiff. And if Arsenal's recent run of good form under Unai Emery can continue, and they can win at Fulham.
All right, so we'll be taking you through some of the, all of the fixtures to expect, and of course bring you updates on what's happening in England as well as other places when it comes to the football hotspots. Here with me in studio is ex-Ghana international and coach John Paintel, and of course you can join us live on the on our Facebook page. We're doing a live stream, so you can join us and put your comments and your questions, messages of goodwill, every other thing. Put it there. The man is here. So I know most of you have been looking forward to having a chat with him. So we're doing this here on Joy 99.7 FM. And we're going all the way to the top of the hour at 2 p.m. Let me get on the phone line now and start off the conversation with Ibrahim Sori Cisse. He is the head of media at the Sierra Leonean FA. Ibrahim, thank you very much for joining us here on the JoySportsLink.
Thank you very much for having me. But I just heard you say that I'm Ibrahim Cisse. Actually, I'm Ibrahim Kamara.
Ibrahim Kamara, I beg your pardon. Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
No problem,
Okay,
sir.
thanks for the correction. Now, give us a graphic feel of what happened yesterday in the lead up to, all of this. I mean, what exactly happened?
Well, we had a kind of situation here that has been really, really tough, with regards the leadership of the Sierra Leone Football Association. Actually, FIFA, had sent in 2 letters, warning against a certain decision that was taken by the Sierra Leone Anti-Corruption Commission. That decision, is that they wrote a letter to the Sports Ministry asking the Sports Ministry to take an action against them. The president of the Sierra Leone Football Association and the general secretary, because they are indicted, of allegedly, misappropriating, donor funds from FIFA. But FIFA sent a letter, warning against that, saying that that is unconstitutional. It is undue third-party interference. They sent in their monies and they've audited and they found nothing really wrong with the 2 people I've just made mention of. That is Madam Asha Yowansing and Christopher Kamara, the president and the general secretary, respectively. But the ACC couldn't, listen to FIFA's letters. Basically, that is, FIFA was merely asking them to reinstate the 2 people, but they refused to do that. And recently the government also, made an advancement, suggesting that they would love to come to FIFA and sit on a round table to deliberate on the issues bordering around football. And FIFA, in the penultimate letter that they sent, they agreed, to have the meeting with the government of Sierra Leone, but they asked that with immediate effect, the government should reinstate Madam Asha Yohansson, the president, and Christopher Kamara, the general secretary. But that letter was never replied to. When the letter came, from FIFA to the government, they never did anything with regards to the letter. So yesterday on the 5th, the last letter came, which is basically about suspending Sierra Leone, suspending our membership to the Federation of Football. That is the world governing body for football, basically. So yes, as we speak, we're under suspension, and the suspension says until and unless Madam Asha Yohansing and Christopher Kamara are reinstated, and then further talks can be held between the government of Sierra Leone and that of FIFA. So that is the present situation. Even our preparation, going to Ghana, those ones have been hindered, very much, because we had already sent tickets to players, our foreign-based players, and a few of them, had really getting into the country. So, as we speak, that is the situation, and we have a kind of mixed feeling, really, where some people are saying, yes, it is good for us to be banned. Some others are saying, no, it is not appropriate for us to be banned, not at this particular time, at least. So, but we're looking forward to hearing from the government as we speak. Rumor has it that it's not really confirmed, but rumor has it that some top officials are presently in a meeting, with regards to the present situation, and very soon they will come out with a statement on this.
Now, Ibrahim, regarding the preparations of the national team, so what is happening? Have you also suspended the preparation towards the game? What exactly is the situation with the national team as well?
Well, to be honest, we haven't suspended anything, because, like I said, we had sent tickets to players and they started coming in. We haven't asked any player to stay back. We've asked them to come forward. We're going to continue with preparation. Like I said, the suspension from FIFA has a way out clause, if you like. In other words, they said until the 2 people are reinstated. So you never know, maybe the outcome of the meeting from the side of the government would be to reinstate the 2 people. And then if that happens to be the case, then we're going to go ahead with the match. But as it now, we're just hoping for the best, basically.
All right, Ibrahim. Yes, sure, I can hear you. Okay, so thank you very much. But you also tell me what the reactions have been like. I've heard you give me an initial one about some people agreeing with it and others not.
Yeah.
For those who do not, for those who agree with this kind of action, what are some of the reasons they've been giving? I mean, you've gauged a bit of public opinion.
Yeah, well, the truth is there's actually a background to all of this, because since Madam Asha Johansson came into power, this was in 2013, there has been a big division in the football family. Some say because there were three, and the two other candidates were disqualified. One is Rodney Michael. He was disqualified based on the FIFA Code of Ethics because he's linked with a local sports betting company, that is Mercury International. And the FIFA Code of Ethics, Article 25, precisely says anybody that is into sports betting, must never hold I'm just paraphrasing, must never hold an administrative position in the running of football, basically. So he was disqualified based on that. And Mohamed Kalou, who in fact is a veteran, is an old footballer, basically, one of the footballers that have made a lot of name actually for the country. For him, the SLFA statute, that is a specific provision, that talks about residential clause, basically. In other words, every candidate must have stayed in the country, you understand, for at least 2 years. So he was caught on that because he stayed out of the country, for some time. So basically, he was caught on that particular part, basically. In other words, he had never stayed in the country for at least 2 years before vying for the position. So the two were disqualified based on those two instances I've just made mention of. So Madam Asha Johansson eventually went unopposed. But then, you have certain set of people that were aggrieved basically as a result of that particular decision. So since then, the football family had been very, very much divided. And then came in this issue about alleged match fixing. We have a certain people, actually, about 11 of them, that are presently under suspension for alleged match fixing, pending investigation, though. So all of these people, they think it was Asha Johansson that brought in this issue about match fixing allegation upon them and things like that. But the truth is, it was actually the match fixing issue was actually born out of this notorious match fixer, that is Wilson Raj Peroma, who confessed. And when he confessed, he made mention of these names that I'm talking about. You understand? He made mention of these names, and then FIFA instructed Asha Johansson to suspend these people and get them to undergo investigation. You understand? So they were suspended based on that. But they perceive it to be like, it was the president, Madam Asha Johansson herself, who brought in this match-fixing investigation. The thing is, Madam Asha Johansson is basically trying to enforce the laws of FIFA. And then also the issue about integrity checks came in. So this set of people that are really against, Asha Johansson, honestly, they don't want all of these things to happen. They see all of these things as a witch hunt against them. But the reality is, these are the standards of FIFA. You understand? And Madam Asha Johansson, as the president of the FA, she's got the obligation to go by what FIFA is telling her to do. That is obviously according to the FIFA and the CAF statutes, basically. You understand? So this is actually the background of all of this. So if you're hearing some people saying it's good that they ban us, that is because for them, when they ban us, all of these things around integrity checks, things around match fixing investigation, all of that will just die out, basically. And you have other people who think, you understand, all of these things has to happen because it's been a long time we've been suffering as a result of match fixing and things like that. So the game has to be cleansed in the country. So these are the two sides of people, and these are the two reactions we do put forward with regards this present situation. In other words, the suspension from FIFA.
Well, Ibrahim, thank you very much. Obviously, this is not something that we'll leave now. We'll definitely be doing some more as we go along and look forward to the best in the best interest of football.
Because obviously there's a lot actually in all of this. That's the honest truth.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Yes. Ibrahim Kamara is the head of media at the Sierra Leonean FA. Now, would quickly speak to Rodney Michael. He is a football administrator in Sierra Leone. He would tell us from their point of view and from a very plain and very objective point of view, what it is, the situation is, and the effect that is going to have. Rodney, thank you very much for your time here on the Joy Sports Link.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Now, did you see this did you see this coming? This situation that Sierra Leonean football finds itself in. Did you see it coming?
Well, knowing FIFA what they stand for, and especially when it comes to Africa, we know that they're very quick to issue these suspension threats and bans. They have one law for Africa and a different law for the Western world. So yes, we're expecting FIFA to come up with this decision. Everyone in Sierra Leone was anticipating it.
Now, from your point of view, has the leadership of the Sierra Leonean FA conducted itself well, or has conducted itself in a way to warrant this kind of action from the Anti-Corruption Commission?
Well, when it comes to issues of corruption-related investigations by the ACC, I tend not to comment because I'm not privy to the details. The only thing I will comment on is on the law that established the ACC, which makes it as an independent body not subject to the control or instructions of the government. They're totally independent and they determine what procedures to follow, and they have their own act of parliament that protects their independence and the processes. So the actions they're taking, whether I agree or disagree with it, unfortunately, is a provision in the ACC Act that allows them that anyone undergoing a trial should be set aside. And the reason for that in the Anti-Corruption Act is to avoid interference with evidence or witnesses. So by law and under the ACC Act, the ACC Act allows the ACC to demand that the President and the General Secretary be set aside because they're undergoing trial and for them not to interfere with evidence or witnesses.
Let's talk about the game that is coming up on the 11th. How much are people in Sierra Leone looking forward to this game, and how much disappointment are people, generally expressing at the turn of events?
Well, I know a lot of people were planning to get tickets. Some have even purchased tickets to travel to Ghana, and the Sierra Leonean community in Ghana is relatively large, and they're all prepared to go and watch the match. The players, a lot of the current squad of youngsters are people that have only one more chance of qualifying for any major tournament. And there's a lot of disappointment around because a lot of people thought that Sierra Leone will be able to make the top two and qualify for the AFCON 2019. So in that regard, there's a lot of disappointment, and there's a lot of anger at FIFA and CAF that this decision is unfair. But based on social forum commentaries, I think there's a lot of support for the Anti-Corruption Commission and a lot of sympathy for the government of Sierra Leone because they are not really a party to this whole issue. The Anti-Corruption Commission exercising its mandate under the ACC Act, and the government has no influence or control over that.
All right, Rodney, thank you very much. We'll leave it here, but obviously we'll be doing some more conversations on this as the days go by. Thank you very much, Rodney.
Thank you, too.
Rodney Michael is a football administrator in Sierra Leone, giving us his perspective and his point of view on all of this. So, as the situation stands now, the ban, placed on the Sierra Leonean Football Association is still holding. And for as long as this ban holds, then the game between Ghana and Sierra Leone in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifier to be played at the Baba Yara Stadium on the 11th of October and the return leg in Freetown for Sierra Leone are all off. But until, Aisha Johansson and the General Secretary, Mr. Kamara, are reinstated to take their positions as President and General Secretary, respectively, of the Sierra Leonean Football Association, we will not have a game. So as we've been told by the head of media of the Sierra Leonean FA, there are talks ongoing, and something may just come out of it. It's a 50-50 situation now. And that is where I bring in celebrated Ghanaian footballer and now coach John Paintsel. John, thank you very much once again for your time. It's great to have you here.
You're welcome, Ato.
John, you've been hearing what's been going on. I mean, Ghana, we have our own issues we're dealing with now. We have a normalization committee, so gradually things will get back on track. You've heard this recent one, which is going to affect a qualifiers for the AFCON. And from where you sit, how do you feel about all of these?
I think it's a bit frustration. I mean, like also the players who have been called to come and serve the nation. Sometimes it plays a lot of music in their heads, whether they are on or they are not on. They can't tell themselves whether they are going to play or they are not going to play. Then they will start thinking about the big men who are as delegation leaders. How are they going to take it to resolve the problem before the match itself come? And it's not only going to affect only the Sierra Leone players, also Ghanaian, because we want to use this qualification to bring ourselves back to the track. Since 2014 World Cup didn't go well, and we're still battling, trying to bring ourselves in. We missed also 2018. So this thing sometimes when it comes, it plays a lot of rough music on the player's head. But I think very soon, like Rooney said from Sierra Leone, they are positive, buying their tickets, ready to come and watch the game in Ghana. It sounds good, but let's hope that it gets well soon.
If you just joined us here live in the studio with me is ex-Ghana international and now coach John Paintsel. Had a very good and very fulfilling career. Played his football here in the Ghana Premier League. Remember him from his days at Brekum Arsenal and Liberty Professionals, after which he went all the way to Israel to play for Maccabi Tel Aviv. Made appearances in the Champions League and all. And then after that, he went over to the English Premier League, played for West Ham, featured for Leicester City, featured for Fulham as well, and made all of his possible strides. After that, he went back to Israel to play some more football before wrapping it up for his football career. The important thing to note here is that Paintsel has also featured at the FIFA World Cup, one of the many things that he would tell his grandchildren and the generations after him when he has the opportunity. Stories from the FIFA World Cup was very much part of our story. Trying to qualify for the very first one was very much part of the story going forward as well. He's ventured into coaching. He's not exactly had the best of everything. There have been days that there have been lows, there have been days that there have been highs, but hey, he sits here looking all well and good. Tell me about the collar. You always have your collars up when you're wearing a dressing shirt. Tell me about it.
Oh, it's just the dressing that I like. When I put my shirt, I prefer to hang it on. When like my normal days, normal life, going out. But when I'm going to church, I put my tie. Don't make mistake. I can't put my collar on whilst I'm in church. But in normal life, like going out, like
I see.
Like it's just to give me confidence when I'm walking outside.
I see. Yeah. I see. You're a member of the Greater Accra Coaches Association. Recently, the association was inaugurated. Obviously, because of your exploits as a coach, you're part of all of these bodies and all of that. Tell me about your coaching career and what informed the decision to even venture into it, because you have loads of your colleagues who are also not very much interested in going to coaching.
Yeah, I think we call by names, and football that we play, with people that played and then fall in love with the game itself, not only playing. I advised myself, and I took this decision. That was 2012. That very soon, that time I said to myself, very soon I'll be hanging up my boots. But after hanging up my boot, what am I going to do? And then also looking around and then thinking the number of coaches that I've worked with in Europe, the likes of Roy Hodgson, Alan Pardew, Kwesi Appiah himself, and then we have Milo Djokovic. Not mention a lot of good coaches that I've worked with. I've learned a lot of things while I was, working with them. And these coaches have been successful, I mean, when you look at the football games itself. So I say, yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of pieces that I've kept in my locker that I can use it when I become a coach. So I decided, okay, I need to find a place that that football is growing, that I can go there and see, even end my career there. So I choose South Africa. I went to South Africa and played for Santos. Santos was in the first division NFD.
Sure.
But people were asking why NFD? I mean, coming from a Premiership side, why playing small team? And I said, I know what I'm doing. So I connected myself from there, first division. Then the following season, I moved to Maritzburg United, which is Premiership side. And then very lucky, I met a coach who made me become a coach like I am now, Steve Compella. He coached me at Maritzburg United. And through my dedication and my fighting spirit, he decided to, I mean, recruit me to his side when he moved from Maritzburg to Kaizer Chiefs. So he phoned me one day, we were talking on the phone. He said, John, how old are you? And I said, Coach, I'm 35 now. He said, 35, how is your legs going? I said, it's okay, but you know, in football, when you reach 35, your speed limit will go down. And then you know that once you see that your speed going down, that means you are getting there. Then what he told me is, don't stay long. I want to work with you, so you think about it. I said, okay, give me another season. So I played one season with Maritzburg United, and then I started doing my coaching courses in South Africa. I did, before then, I did B licenses with Ben Kofi. He so rest in peace.
Yes, may so rest in peace.
And then also did one with Steve in South Africa, Pretoria. So I got that certificate. So after one season, I called him and I said, I think I'm ready. He said, you think or you are ready? I said, I'm ready. So he spoke to the club. Then I have to come home and then hang out my boots. I mean, speak to our loved ones in Ghana, call the media in that I'm hanging off my boots. Then I went to South Africa. And it's one of the biggest teams in Africa, Kaizer Chiefs. It's not a small club. So the experience there was very, very great. And I also chip in my experience that I had. And then also Steve Compella has it very, very, like he has a trust in me, like confidence. Whatever I say to him, he listens. So we work hand in hand, and then season 2016 to 2017, we was in the fourth. We did so well. And then the following season, we depart with Kaizer Chiefs, and even himself went to Bloemfontein Celtic, which is doing well. So I pick a lot of experience from him. And
normally when coaches are making such major moves, I mean they go and negotiate for movement with their backroom staff. Didn't that happen in this case?
No, I left before he moved from Kaizer Chiefs because the contract both of us had with Kaizer Chiefs was different from being partners. Yeah, because he was there before I came, so he wouldn't have done that deal. Because that deal was a fixed one season with option. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
But then when I came home, I also tried to do my own things, trying to put up a few things. I mean, build a machine club here in Ghana, because I find out that there's a lot of talent players in Ghana which they are wasting because their aim is to think of going to Europe and then make money there. But trust me, they can make it here. So I decided to start doing something better and then get people involved to support the youngsters who are coming up.
Wow. Now, Kaizer Chiefs and why you left. I mean, there's been loads of stories in the media regarding why you left Kaizer Chiefs. Tell us the story.
It's a long story. If
okay, so you can summarize it for us.
Really, I'm not going to say anything about it. But you know, it's past and gone, and then we learn from better things, and then we move forward. Try to. Now, what I'm focusing on is to do a better job and become one of the successful coaches, like those who coached me before. They are my role models, and I look up to them. And they are fighters. They are very straight. I mean, more professionals. So I want to become one of them.
I like that answer. You know, the bit I like about it is that you said, you know, it's something that is past and gone, and you know. But quick one. So was that was that situation your fault? Was this something you'd say you were responsible for, or even though we do not really know and you don't want to go into it, is this something you were responsible for, or you blame another party for it?
No, we depart in a nice way. I and Kaizer Chiefs, I mean, like we said in this word, never close doors. I still pick phone to call them. If I have a good player to send him across to South African Kaizer Chiefs, I'm free to do that. I'm in very, very communication with the technical director and then also the boss himself.
I see.
We spoke a lot, and I still also speak to my coach, which is very good. I mean, whatever happened in the boardroom, I think I have to respect the club and I also respect myself, not to come out and then explain things again. But I think I enjoy myself there, and also I achieve what I have to. And it was a successful season.
John, how did you feel about what people said about that reason why you left? I mean, I'm sure you're very active on social media and all of that. You follow chronicling of events in the media and all of that. How did you feel when you read some of the stories about why you left the club?
It's normal. I mean, where we find ourselves, I mean, even when you are going to pee and the bush, it's news. And issue, I mean, the news, whether good or true, is part of us. I mean, being a celebrity, you don't need to be scared of those things. But what you need to do is you need to keep your dignity and then do well. If you yourself know that you are innocent in certain things that's written about you, then you should be happy. But if you know you are not doing well, you are doing bad stuff out there, and then people write things about you, then you should have yourself to be blamed. But if you know you are clean and you are not doing something that is bad, then you need to move on and have your confidence, and then what God has given you, you need to bring it up and then go where God says you will go. You have to be there. So I think I have a lot in me to give back to my people, which that's what my focus on now.
Would you want to go back to South Africa to coach in the Premier League if you get the opportunity?
As a coach, all doors should be open for you. When you need to build your CV as well, you need to do well. You can't just wake up and say, I'm South Africans, I'm coming, please give me your team, I want to coach. But you need to do something. That's why I said I've started doing something here in Ghana. And at least if you can bring more than 10 Ronaldos in Ghana, more than 5 Messi in Ghana, more than 10 Tonado Apia, Stephen Apia, 9 ACN, 10 Muntari, 2 Asamoah, or John Mensah, or even myself, John Painso. If you build that, I mean, this player, where is he coming from? Then they started looking for where this boy started. And they say, oh, true coach John Painso, true coach John Painso. This is what I want to do. I want to build my own thing. Then the success will follow.
When you say you want to build your own thing, what are we talking about here? Are you looking at establishing an academy? Are you looking at putting together a program that will do the discovery of players? Are you looking at just going into clubs, doing your own thing and coming out? Which is which?
A team, proper team. Then the age from 16 to 23.
Okay.
Youth side, yeah.
Okay.
So you build that from there, and then you need to have people, have your goalkeeper, trainers, assistant coaches, fitness coach, have your physiotherapists, and then have your doctors around. Also, build a good structure. Have people who can work hand in hand with you. I mean, give a proper contract to your players. Pay them through banks every month. Let the players feel comfortable, because at the end of the month, if player comes and you give him cash in hand, what is he going to do with it? But when you pay him through bank, he knows, okay, I have my money in bank every 28th of the month. 28th month, my salary is coming. And even if it's 400 or 500, a player should understand that, I mean, 500 throughout the month, 30 days. So how are you going to cope? You need to manage. So players can stay here in Ghana, buy their own car, or their own houses. I mean, than wait and go to Europe and then try and say, I want to go to Europe, even when your time is not on, the players will be pushing up. The banks are here. Myself, it's banks that helps me to buy my properties. So what banks did to me, I know they can do to my players. Whilst they are receiving their salary through banks.
But you were a big earner, so the banks are comfortable working with you. I mean, you've mentioned it yourself that the salaries here are low. I mean, yeah, it's true. People receive as much as low as 500 Ghana cedis. Some even lower than 500 Ghana cedis after playing for 4 weeks in the league, or not being active at all as the situation stands now. How then do we all have a moral right to blame the players when they say they want to leave Ghana and go elsewhere to go and play football?
That's why I said I did mention I want to do my own thing. Saying I want to do my own thing is put up a good structure. We have a lot of big companies here in Ghana, and I understand that the companies will only come in to help you when you're doing well yourself, because you can't just go to office and say, okay, I'm doing this and I want you to help me. But what have I done and what have you done so far? You need to present yourself well. Listen, I have 35 players, and then I'm paying them 1 cedi every month. My budget for the year is 200 cedis. So how can you help me? Then they will come in, because you can't open you can't have a club, then the club accounts is in your name as a person. It has to have the club. If the club is ABC, it's an ABC account. So whatever is coming in is for the club. It's not for individual. So those money that will come, or those sponsorship that will come, is what you're going to use to pay the players. So once the money been coming, you set the good structure. So the money comes, it goes to the players' account. You pay them every month. So it's not necessary to pay the player 200 or 400. You know, when we are saying 400 Ghana, it's a bit low for a Premiership player to have. But the thing is not the owner's fault to pay that amount to the players, because there's no support. It's one-man show. There's no sponsorships, because if I own the club now and then I'm using my own pocket money to pay the players, it's difficult. Even your own family, your wife and your kids, sometimes it's difficult to even put money on the table. How much more having players, need to get them accommodations and all that. And on top of that, you have to pay them every month. So it's proper structure, and then the companies will come in to support. Then our players will feel comfortable to play in Ghana, because a player will wake up and you go and take a trotro as a professional player, and the trotro won't move because it's not full. The player, what becomes to the player starts stressing. I'm getting late. I'm going to be late. I'm going to be late. Even when the driver stop, he say, it takes a lot of things from them. Even if player can buy Picanto, it's a car. So he knows I have my car. I know the time that I have to leave my house. So training starts at 6. I will leave hour before. So because I have my car, I'm confident, I'm free to drive, get there in time, do my stretching, do all these things. Because South African, they are part of African. But South African players are not forcing themselves to go to Europe because they are comfortable. They can buy a car today, they will take it back and change, which we can do here in Ghana, because we have good players and it's all about the structure. That's why I said I want to do my own thing.
John, why is it that our club owners are still fixated on owning the club, owning all the rights? Everything is in my name, like you've just said. I mean, they are your peers. You speak to them all the time. Why is it that people are still very interested in wanting to own everything and run everything from their briefcases and all of that? Why is that thing still there? Why do people still have that desire in Ghana football?
That's why I said it's about the structure. We need to work in hand, because if you are owner, if you are founder, you need to have people, have your marketing managers, have your accountants, have your doctors. You know, when the player is injured, you know which hospital they will take them to. Only one doctor will take care of your players. Every season, you check the players, you do your medicals, you check them who has a problem, then you put them on the program. So you know this player, his right knee, there's a problem. And then how long is he going to last on the field? You should know all this. And then also, those marketers, they will go out there and work for the club, because they have to sell the club outside. But if you are the owner and you think, okay, you have enough, you want to hold the everything on you, you want to do everything, you are accountant, you are doctor, you are no. It doesn't work like that. But I think very soon all of us are going to, learn and educate ourselves, because it's not that they don't know. they have the idea, but they need people to come in and teach them how it works. Because I've been to a lot of clubs in Europe and in everywhere, and then I understand, I know how these things work in Europe, because you need to put up a big structure. The club, fine, you build a club, but the club will always be there. You will go, coaches will go, players will go, the club will stay. That's one thing that every owner must understand, that the club will stay, everybody will go. So give the club what belongs to the club and keep what belongs to you, the owner. So if money is coming from outside for the club, it goes to the club's account. Before the money goes out to individual, it has to be more than 2 signatures before the money goes out from the account. The money that will go without signature is the player's monthly salary. That's going automatic every month. So let's do a good structure, good departments. Everybody has his or her own job that is doing. Create offices for all of them. So you give people a job, they'll work for you. You pay them every month so that they can also work for you. We have a lot of people here, like you need to have your media man who will speak for your club when there's a problem. You need to pay them for them to work. So hand in hand, very soon. Like I always said, Kaiser, I'm proud of the man himself. Now he sit home, he put his hand on his head. He don't use his money anymore because people are working. They are marketing the club. Even the T-shirt, one jersey, it's a lot of money. People buy it. So all this money goes to the club. They use it to pay player. So when they are buying even $200,000 in Africa player, they are not scared. Now they're buying players from Brazil, Spain. I mean, foreign players, they are paying them good, which we can do the same here in Ghana. So like I said, I've traveled, I've learned, and then I'm bringing it back home. But I need people to support my idea so that we can help the young ones who are coming. Because, I mean, paying them, it's a sign of showing them that you love what they are doing. It's not monthly. You will come to your office. If it's 500, you say, Daniel, just put your G, 200. I will give you the rest later. You are not helping the player. And I don't know if no chance, like if you don't get chance to go to Europe, and then like 27, 26, he's done. 26 years, where is he going to go? He can't go anywhere. So we need to teach them. By teaching them, paying them, they know how to save, they know how to comport themselves, because that's where the discipline lies. Because if you are coming late, if you are not performing, we are deducting you. So we pay you, you perform. We pay you, you come in time to training. We pay you no lateness. We pay you, you respect your teammates, you respect your coaches, you respect everybody, both on the pitch and off the pitch.
Free lessons here, free consultancy. Free consultancy from John Paintel. You do miss that number 4 jersey, don't you? So John Paintel says that he's been around, he's played, he's seen it all, and he wants to now come and give back. He's got great ideas, but needs the support to move on from there. It's 7 minutes past 1 p.m. here on the Joy Sports Link with me, Nathaniel Attal. My guest in the studio, John Paintel. Remember, you can send your messages. It's 0244340437, 0244340437. And for those of you also joining us on our live stream on Facebook, you can also place your messages there. We'll read all of them and as many of them as we can. And also, share with everyone else. If you've got questions, messages of goodwill, all of them, would be glad to have them for John Paintel here on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. Remember, we're going to the top of the hour, 2 p.m. Also, later on, we'll activate the phone line so that those of you who can join. John, when you have conversations with your peers here and the people we call football people, Do you get the sense that people are ready to listen and people are ready to adapt, change, and move our football from this current state to the next level?
Oh yes, I mean I spoke to a couple of people who are doing their own team.
Okay.
And then I did advise them. Also, on our platform, we are doing well.
Okay.
With our coaches. I mean, every day we try to put up something. Even if I'm playing against Audu Saka or Lai Kingston or Atram, we put on a platform, and some of our coaches will come in and then watch and see, okay, where they can also learn from. Sometimes when I give my players off, I have to pick one of the coaches who are training in the morning. Then I'll drop there also to help him, I mean, coaching his boys. And what I have, I'll also give it to them and also pick one or two things from them. So I think the young lads who are coming in, the coaches, they can still also become managers and also board directors. So it's not only being there as a coach, but you also need to learn other things about football, how to manage it itself.
I see. I see. Now, what do we lack as you've talked about talent? What do you see lack? I mean, you go around so many corners of the country to see young players play football. They are talented, but what else do they need?
Discipline. Discipline, because like my team, we start training every morning, 6:30 start. So by 6 a.m. you have to be on the field. 6:01 you are late, you will go home.
I see.
Yes, and by the time I get, everybody's there. Everybody. They used to come late, and I keep firing them because I won't give you another chance. When I ask you to go, you go home, you don't come back. And every day new players come. So I want to force them to adopt to discipline, because if you are waking up like 5 o'clock, start training 6:30. 1 hour 30 minutes, you're done. You have the whole day to sleep. And I don't train my players twice a day, because you break them in some point. You can't train players.
You don't believe in training twice a day?
No, I don't believe in that.
I see.
I don't believe in that, because if you
played at Liberty Professionals. I know that Liberty has that tradition. They train twice a day.
Yes, but I think it's not advisable. As a coach, you need your players fresh. You need them fresh so that they can perform for you. When they are tired, they can't give you all you want them to give you. Effective training, something hot, hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes, you're done.
I see.
Yeah, but something that you think, okay, they will go home, they will sleep. You don't give them training that you the coach, think that you're not satisfied, because if you're not satisfied, that's why you keep training them, because you want to be satisfied. That's what every coach wants to see when he's training his players. So
some of your peers, I mean, you've mentioned some of them. Some of them train, I mean, most of them train twice a day.
Yeah, they do.
Have you shared this feedback with them?
Oh yeah, some of my colleagues, the coaches who are coming,
they agree with you?
It's difficult, because you know, every coach has his own philosophy. But it's only advice you give it to a brother. You can't force your colleague to train his players once. Yeah, I remember there was a time I went to Audu Saka's training grounds, and then he gave me his boys. I trained them. And then after the training, he just said they are coming in the afternoon. So I advised him. I said, no, what I've given them is enough for them the whole day. Then he said, okay. And then he went there, and then he told the players, we're off today, so we'll be back in tomorrow. So next day he called me and said, yeah, the boys came, they were very fresh, and then they were doing. I said, yeah, I mean, you've learned something, I've also learned something from you. But like I said, if you train players too much, the players become hyper, because sometimes when they get the ball, they don't know what to do with the ball. They're overfit. They will run and leave the ball behind. Because I want my players to play football. Passing ball team. That's what my players are. Because we are not players who team that kick long balls. We want to put the ball down, play beautiful football to also score goals, to entertain the fans. Fans won't come to the field to see rugby team. Because it's soccer, there's soccer and there's a rugby. Rugby is when you kick the long ball and then everybody changes. But nowadays, football has changed. You put the ball down and play.
I see. Let's take this message from Seneca in Spintex. Good afternoon, Nathan. Greetings to John. I'm a marketing man and would want to work with John if only he needs people to help him. So he's left his contact number. Would arrange for John's team to give you a buzz. Okay, thank you very much, Seneca from Spintex. Keep the messages coming in. Remember, it's 0244 340 437. 0244 340 437. Get your messages in. Let's share with everyone else. Remember, our Facebook wall is also active. We're live streaming on Facebook. Beg your pardon. Live and streaming on Facebook. So for those of you who are joining us there, you can also place your messages there. We'll be glad to have and share with everyone else. This is the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM with John Paintel. John, you've been following the Black Stars, haven't you?
Yes.
Since you hang your boots. The back and forth, the issues of form, the issues of criticism for Kwesi Appiah and all of that. What do you make of all of those?
Yeah, I think when it comes to coach's job, it's normal. I mean, and Kwesi Appiah too has played football before in the Black Stars, Captain Black Stars, and he has also been around Black Stars for more than 8 years. So I think he's used to the heat and then the pressure. And I think what he's doing is he's doing very well. As he stands now, he's trying to give a lot of players opportunity to establish themselves and then see if they can win a position. Of course, he has his own players that think that, okay, these are the players that can play when it comes to tournaments, Nations Cup and the World Cup. So sometimes you see new players coming in, you might think, oh, he's trying to push old players away or the other good players. Or there's no such names, good players. I mean, a coach have his own thing that he need to do to put up a strong players who represent the country when the tournament comes on.
Okay, tell me, did you at any point in your career, especially with the Black Stars, did you at any point feel that you were being, pushed out gradually because of age and all? Have you ever felt like that before?
Oh no, not at all. I mean, I was seeing myself as a leader when Appiah senior players were gradually leaving.
And of course, at certain points, you captained the team as well. You captained the Black Stars. Yes.
Yeah, that was 2010 before Milo left.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so I was one of the leaders. Even when we went to South Africa 2013, I was the only senior player who joined the team to South Africa. And then the respect was there, everyone listening to me. Although Jan was the captain at that time for 2013 Nations Cup. But Jan was giving all the respect, giving me the time, the chance to speak to them. Even although he was the captain, but he gave me that platform to speak to everybody before the game and after the game. So it was good. It's the way you carry yourself around your teammates, and also in the national team, you must understand that national team is for everybody. I mean, if somebody is better than me, why not? Every coach like good players. The coach will use whoever is playing what he wants, because everyone is good. So you won't come here and do your own thing. You are good, that's why he called you. But when you come, he has watched the opponent team and he know where he can head them from. So when he asks you to stand on the line, wait for the ball, when you get the ball, cut in. And you go and stand there in the line, then you move to the middle, you get the ball, you pass back. That means you are telling the coach that he don't know what he's telling you. So he rather drop you. So sometimes when we are educating the fans who want to watch football, we need to let them understand that players must listen to coach, they must play to the coach instructions. Have you ever felt,
I mean, you are very experienced. Did you at any point feel that, look, I think I know better than this coach? I mean, we've heard some of the comments from some of your teammates, some of your juniors in the Black Stars team. There are times when we hear all sorts of unfortunate comments coming from them that, look, this guy doesn't know much.
if a player said that behind his coach, that player won't go anywhere, because it's the coach that made you. He called you because he likes you, he wants to work with you. So if you are saying you know better than him, that means you shouldn't be there. I've never thought of or even think that I'm better than my coach. What I do is how to improve my game under this coach.
Have you ever disagreed with something that a directive that any coach has given to you? I mean, both club and country.
No,
if you cast your mind back.
No. You can't. A player who wants to achieve something in football, who wants to be better, you always listen to your coach. You can't even have second thought that what this man is saying is not. Even if it's not, you won't even judge him and say what he's saying is not right. But
so, for instance, what is happening between Pogba and Mourinho?
I mean, sometimes frustrations will come, and coaches sometimes take it to the players. You understand? Mourinho is he's an experienced coach, and sometimes he should know better that such things, you can't come out and speak to players, because the player he's a big boy, and then he's working under you. But what you need to do sometimes is sat him down and then let him understand what you want. But sometimes you can't control those things on the field of playing. Coaches stand on the line. It's not easy. You will feel the heat. You think that the player could have done this, could have done that, because you asked him to go and do number 2 and he went to do number 6. So it's a process. You need to keep going, because Pogba is a very good player, and you can't afford to lose such player in your team. So there's a way of doing it, okay? Because now he has him, and he need another machine together with him. Like when he used to coach Chelsea, when he has Drogba, Essien, Makelele, them around. This is what he needs now in Manchester. So he feel like those boys gave him a lot of things, but in there now, he seen Pogba can do all of it, but he can't. If you have another machine like Essien, Makelele, Drogba, them around him, Malouda, them, then I think you see Mourinho like we know before, because the quality you have there is not what he used to have in Chelsea.
John, tell me how difficult it is to listen to your coach in the heat of the moment. I mean, you've been on both sides, so at least you can tell this better. How difficult it is for you, I mean, listening to the coach. I mean, you're losing the game. Maybe you need one goal, one brilliant goal to just set everything aside and set the result clear. And your coach is shouting instructions. The fans are breathing down your neck with all of the... How are you able to manage all those things?
Yeah, as a player, you work with your coach and your teammates. Yes, you'll be losing, but a good coach will tell all his players, stick to the plan, because the coach has his own philosophy. He wants to build from the back. The goalkeeper wants to kick long ball. That means you are hitting the team, because that's not what you train. What you train is what you give on the field. So now you're losing. You want to do extra. It's part of the game. Players try to do their own extra. But if you do it and it works, the coach will be happy. But if you do it and it goes wrong, then you'll be holding it responsible. Wow. That's why in England, some mistakes you do, they won't forgive you. Your 1 week wages will go. Silly red cards, they will check the video. How did you get? Did you miss your how you position yourself? Did you time your run before you caught him in the box for penalty? Were you reading well? Did you check your left shoulder or right shoulder? Was any message from your teammates? They check all of that before they punish you. So football is not, it's a gentleman game. Sometimes before, people think those who play football are the boys who don't go to school, who don't know anything. But now it has transformed to a certain level that it's like office work. You won't get the money easy. You get the money, but you need to work. If you don't work towards it, by the end of the month, half of your salary will go.
You will get the money, but you need to work for it. The words of John Pencil here on Joy 99.7 FM. This is the Joy Sports Link. Remember, we're going to the top of the hour, 2 p.m. There's a message here It's from Cyril at the University of Ghana. He says, tell JP that some of us love him to bits. Himself, John Mensah, Laye, Olele, Essien, Muntari, Stephen Appiah are idols to some of us. If I ever make enough resources to invest in football, I'll always keep them closer to my players. These guys had passion for results and country. Not surprised he's into coaching now because I could tell from their playing days. Okay, Cyril from University of Ghana, thank you very much for that message. So to our friends on Facebook, don't worry at all. I'll be reading some of your messages in a bit, okay? I'm not getting carried away by the conversation at all. Remember, it's 0244340437 as well. 0244340437. John, talk about coaches. Which of them? I mean, working in the Black Stars team, would you say, won you the most?
Yeah, I think Milo.
Milo. What's the reason? What was it about Milo van Rijvaak?
Yeah, I mean, he is very disciplined and a very tactical man, and always want his players to stick to the plan. He never changed his philosophy. Once he asks you, it's two all the way. And he likes players who listen to his instructions. And he's a coach that when he's coaching you, as a player, you feel like you are doing something. You feel like you are doing something because you have work in hand. He has given you something to do. Corner kicks, you ask you, John, number 2, it's your man. Corner against the opponent, this is where I want you to stand. So at the same time you are playing, and also the coach voice instruction is ringing bell in your ears. So one is there's a set pieces, you look for your number 2. One is corner against them, you know where to stand. If you don't do those things, he will take you out and you will never come in again. And when you make a decision, you can't reverse it.
I see.
And also, it's difficult to beat his team more than 2.
I see. Great stuff. Also, we'll be crossing over to Argentina to take a quick report from our correspondent for the Youth Olympics. I'm talking Baba Tando, and she's there by the facilitation of the Ghana Olympic Committee. Remember, Ghana has a 5-man contingent taking part in this year's Youth Olympics. So far, Ghana's record there is that of Martha Bisa, who won it in China. She's won Ghana's only Olympic medal, and we're looking forward to seeing who will add to that or complement it. But remember, you're still here on the JoySportsLink on Joy 99.7 FM. We're going to the top of the hour. In a bit, I'll be activating the phone line so that you can call and have your conversations with John Paintel, ex-Ghana international and coach. John, in terms of the ambition, away from what you want to build with your own team and certain important structures in football, what else are we looking at? I mean, you've talked about how you're open to all other opportunities, but I'm very sure that you, as an individual, have your own preferences and targets of places in the world where you want to coach, specific destinations and all of that.
Oh, actually, like I said, coaches, every door is open. When you're doing well, it doesn't matter which team, because people watch, they have scouts around checking what you're doing, the players you are bringing up, and they become what. So that's all the things that a coach need to do. I'm focusing on what I'm doing right now, and when the time comes to be wherever, that time will come and then I will grab it. But for now, I'm just working so hard for these young boys in this team that I'm building up. And then it's a team that very soon I think we'll do the launching. And then we'll put up outside for people to know the name of the team and then where the team is and then what our mission, our vision and all that.
I see. When are you planning to wrap up all of this and do the launch?
Oh, latest by 3 weeks from today.
Wow, wow. So watch out for John Painsel's football club. We don't know what the name is yet. He's not letting it out yet as well, but John Painsel is establishing his own football outfit, a professionally run one, and which will have incorporation of all sorts of professionals who will come together to do a solid job and produce some great players for us. John, let's talk about club and country. I mean, the highest height of every footballer's achievements is to want to play at the biggest stage, which is the World Cup. You've been there, you've seen it. The only thing is that you've not won the World Cup. What would you want to change about participating in the World Cup? Your appearances for Ghana. When you look back, what would you have wished was probably different, slightly different?
Well, I think I can ask for more. I mean, where we guys went to and the performance we put during our time, and also when it comes to management side, delegation leaders, I think they did everything right for us. The only thing that, like you said, we couldn't, lift up the trophy, but we were able to make it to last 16, the quarterfinal. And like I said, structures counts and it helps, because when we came in to the national team, there was senior players, Ajumenduya, Samekufo, them, Gago, when they are leaving the team, it was structures. Then August Nahimfo team group came and they also left. Then Bafojan, then us. John Painter, ACN, Apia, John Mesa. So, like, whilst we were going, then we will have a Samoejan group. So, like, after a Samoejan group, this time we will have, like, the AYU group coming in. So, I think what I can say is that let's keep this structure, because we are lucky to have the group that won the under-17, the under-20 World Cup in Egypt. All those players around, they are the group that did so well, that this time is the time to come up and play. So those players, count themselves lucky, because they still have the chance to come to the national team. The only thing they have to do is to do well and push themselves. When the coach throw the chance to them, they'll come in and stay in, so that we will have a better way of winning trophies, because they are capable of winning the next World Cup.
Kwesi Appiah as a coach.
Yeah, I think he's doing well. For me, he's doing well. And national team is not easy. Even the club side, there's heat. How much more carrying the whole country on your shoulder? Because everybody wants you to make him happy as a coach. Sometimes you sit on one list, even 2 players, you can't even decide. Players will be calling from Europe, coach, please. Midi Womana, please add me. I'm ready to fight for you.
Oh, that's what you players do sometimes.
Oh, yes, we do.
See.
You need to communicate with your coach, because you love the nation, you want to play, because the national team, when you're playing for national teams, also help your CV for your club. So it's not like playing for Ghana, you are doing the country favor. Our time, we didn't see ourselves doing the country favor, but it was our own good. So when we called you, you don't have to wait. You come in and serve, because you add something to your value in your club. So the coach has a lot of job to do. Like I've seen something that he's doing lately, bringing new players, playing them friendly matches and all that. But I think he has his own players that he thinks they are ready to play for tournaments. But those who are coming, he's building them. So when those players are not on, excuse my word, if God forbid injuries, okay, then he knows that, no, I remember I gave this guy opportunity and he came in and he performed, so I will put him back and play. It's not that he's bringing new players, then those new players are going to play the tournament. I don't think he's going to do that. And then I believe in him that this time he's experienced enough to take the country a bit up there.
And a bit up there means what? Winning the Nations Cup?
Winning the Nations Cup. That one is on course. And then we all Ghanaians need to, give him all the support, because the high time that we come together and then stop, take this one, he's not good, he's not like, no. I mean, we sat here all the time and wait for people from outside Ghana to come here and work and go. Whilst we, the locals, can do better and move on and then win trophies, we can do it. So what the coach needs is confidence and then support from Ghanaians. I mean, he's building a big machine. I'm experienced in this game and I've seen it coming in. So sometimes they shouldn't judge him from calling players that you think you don't know. You think, okay, you know that this one must come. We should allow him to do his job and just keep supporting him.
Quickly on the issue of leadership of the Black Stars and all the commentary that goes on. You know, one moment, you know, somebody says, Dede Ayew, he needs to take over as captain of the Black Stars. He wants to take over from Asamoah Gyan. He wants to kick Asamoah Gyan off. You know, Asamoah Gyan hears some of these things, he gets upset, back and forth. What do you think of all of this? I mean, when you sit back and you observe those things that go on, including the role that the public plays in all of this.
But as players, why do you have to think about the speculations, what is happening outside, whilst you have your own coach who hasn't said anything like, okay, I'm taking the band from you and give it to Kwesi or Kwejo? With them, they need to stick together. And then I'm telling you this today, those boys, people who have been, chowing them, saying they are fighting, they are not together. It's a lie. They are very good buddies. All of them in the national team. I mean, before, when they don't call you, you feel like you're missing something. So you always want to be part of that team. Black Stars team is a place that people go there to at least have fun and then play very good football. It's not that you go there, players fighting, chasing leadership and all that. I don't think we have that in our national team. They love themselves, they are united. So when you're outside, the way we put things on social media, people go and...
But it's not all perfect when you guys are in camp all the time, is it? I mean, once in a while, there'll be an argument between two players. There'll be, those things happen, don't
they? No.
Okay. Let's refer to Coach Plavi's report, after he led Ghana to the Nations Cup, where he made all sorts of allegations. It was the coach's report. You have spoken severally about how we need to listen to our coach and adhere to what he says. Plavi came in, he made allegations of how players were even using juju against each other, how they were, in camp. How they were sabotaging each other in camp. He wrote all of that in his report. It became a big issue. Remember?
I didn't see that on 2012. That's when he came in. I didn't see that. But I think he was also listening to outsiders more than his players.
So you think that report that he brought, which was made public, was what?
I don't think he was right to put such thing on Black Stars players, because such thing never happened. Black Stars team were always united, always together. Because as a coach, you need to be there for your players, no matter what. Whether rain or shine, pepper or salt, you stay with your players. Whatever your players does must not come out. But you as a coach, you need to call them and then address that in front of them. Because now you're coming out to speak to people that the players were not united, they were using juju. What is juju? You don't say that. Because we pray every night, every day. So if somebody comes and tells you as a coach, this player is using juju, call the player and ask him. Or bench him, because you as a coach, you said you want players who pray to God to play. So why do you use him and then after that come out and then speak?
Let's do a message here, and it's from Kofi Che in Tantra Hills. It says, JP's exploits on the fields for country to me was excellent. I remember him from Argentina 2001 at the FIFA World Youth Cup, later the seniors at the World Cup. I wish him all the best, but this issue about betting and him owing Derek some money, etc. It hurts me personally when I hear such negative comments about him. I wish him the best in all his endeavors, from Kofi Che. Okay, let's quickly deal with that matter. This is one of the things that came up in the course of the year, some months back. What was the whole back and forth?
Oh, I don't think I'm going to talk about it because, like I said earlier on, it's in court and we have to give respect to the honorable court. Yeah.
Very well. Very well. Very well. More messages here for John Paintel. There's this one from Nimanche in Achim Kukrantumi. Okay. He says, fantastic good afternoon to you. I salute you, Mr. John Paintel, and may you be a great football manager. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, Nimanche, for that message. Now, there's this other message here, trying to recruit us. Okay, so this is from Nana Akwisia Safoye in Amsterdam. He says, hello, Nathaniel. I agree with structures as John talks about it because it is because of structures that 9 of his under-20 colleagues played in the first ever Football World Cup. We need to develop it from the base. We really do. It's a pleasure reminiscing on how far John has come from 2002 in Mali. Okay, thank you very much. That's from Nana Kwisia Safoye listening from Amsterdam. Okay, a bit about, what you talked about an era, your era during the Black Stars. You talked about how you had fantastic managers and team leaders. So I remember Fred Papo Papse. I remember his boss, Kwesi Nyantechi. Kwesi Nyantechi has not been in the best of news for some time now. You've been here. You've observed what has happened, the current situation with Ghana football. When all of this broke, from the documentary through to the ban by FIFA, through to all of the angles that have happened. When you sit back and you reflect sometimes, what goes through your mind about this matter?
Sometimes I feel sad that with all the good things that Nantechi and his people did for Ghana, it ended up like this way. And I quite remember when him and then Fred Papo used to work together. It was amazing. I've never seen both bosses working hand in hand together like they are running a football club. You only see those things when you play for a football club. The way they manage us, the way they sat us down, discuss bonuses, and then even 6 months plan how we're going to win this tournament, how we'll be preparing ourselves for qualifyings and all that. It was amazing. They always let us understand what is going to happen the next 9 months, the next 1 year. So we, the players, will prepare ourselves. So when we are coming, sometimes we win the matches from dressing room before we will get to the field. So I think Fred Papo leaving him to do the job alone also cost him, because Fred Papo knows the game very, very well, and then he was also been here in Olympics for so many years, and he know how football dynamics works. So he was doing all his best, and then I still believe that Fred Papo still have a lot of things to do in Ghana football. If he's still interested to go in football, he still need to come in because he have what it takes to build the team. And though, Kwesi Nyantechi to Ghana to 2010, 2006, 2014. For first time, no chairman has ever done that in our football history. But they say when shit hit the fans, excuse my word, it hit the fans.
Apologies for the French. Sorry. Yeah.
So
okay.
That is how it is. But we will say that he did what he did for the nation, and some of us who work under him knows that he did all his best for us, and also help some of us to be united, because we had a leader, Stephen, up here. There's nothing that Stephen will go and speak to Kwesi Nyantechi, that Kwesi Nyantechi will turn us down. We will bargain, we will fight a bit, but at the end of the day, he will let his players win the battle. So in terms of bonuses, appearances, and sponsorship for the team itself, it was on top. So, like I said, if you're a leader, you need to have a good team that will work for you, because if they go out there and dirty themselves, it will come back and hit you as a leader. And it's advice to all of us who are coming up. that you pick right people to work with. You interview them before you take them. And when you are interviewing them, you look into their eyes straight, and you be careful when you pick somebody to work for you, because at the end of the day, when it comes, only one name that is going up, Kwesi. How about the rest who was working with him? Their names are not on there. So, I mean, to me, what he did for the nation was fantastic. We were crying before. I quite remember when I joined the national team in 2002. Bonuses was $100, and no jerseys. Jerseys we use coal and then petrol to mix and write the numbers at the back of the jersey. But when he came, a lot of sponsors coming in. We dress good, because as a player, when you dress good, you put good jersey and it's tight on you. You know that you don't have time to pull your shirt and then check whether your pant is bigger than you. Like 2002, my pant was extra large, and I was so skinny. You know, I was putting my pant up at the same time, focus on the game.
Yeah.
You see, but when he came, a lot of things changed. The players were happy coming in, win the match. You know, when you win, your pocket will be okay. And then when you go out there to play in your club side, the respects are there. Because of the structure they have, because of how they put things in the national team for us. I wish this time around things will change. Not much will change, but like I said, those who was at fault must step out and then bring new one. And new ones that are coming, they also need to be careful, because no one is perfect. I mean, when you see somebody shaking, you also need to prepare that when you get there, you shake. But how are you going to survive?
Handle it. 0302216541 is the phone number. You can start calling us now. Inko Joseph says, John Pencil was one of my admired players because of his dedication and discipline. My only problem with most Ghanaian players is that they don't invest much, especially where they come from. So some rather rush to marry models and invest in women instead of investing in business, and they end up disappointing them. Okay, Inko, thank you very much for that message. 0302216541. Erasmus Andy in Chicago says, it's nice hearing from John. I wish him well in his career. Very shortly, we'll take a report from Baba Tando, who's in Argentina, and she's with the team, Ghana's team, taking part in this year's Youth Olympics. Let's quickly take our first caller. Hello, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us here on the Joy Sports Link. And Wanda and Koforidra, good afternoon.
Yes, Nathaniel, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother. Go ahead.
And good afternoon to John. I'm very excited this afternoon what he has, put across, especially when he said he has now a team, and eventually he's going to launch the team as well. It means he is going to invest in these players, and definitely in the future we are going to have something from these players. And I'm very grateful for his support for these players. May God richly bless him in all his endeavors as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Wanda and Koforidra. George in Hacho is my next caller. Good afternoon, George.
Good afternoon, Citizen Ato. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Please lower the volume on your radio set and go ahead.
Yeah, I just did. Sorry. Good afternoon, John.
Good afternoon.
I was asleep when a colleague called me that John Pencil is in the studios. I was like, what? I don't know. I'm so happy hearing from you. And I must confess, I'm one of those who really admire. I miss you wearing the number 4 jersey. And I pray that whatever you set your hands to do, whatever you set your eyes to do, may God make it shine and go on in life. Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for calling as well. 0302216541, and this is where we get to race very, very hard with the clock. But well, we'll manage it and see how best we're gonna go. So the next caller is Ni Jimba in Adabraka. Ni, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Nat.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. Please, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I'm calling from Adabraka, Ni Jimba. I want to thank you for bringing this gentleman into the studio, Pencil. I think the interview has been very insightful and very educative. But one thing I want to table with him is that I think House of Folk is looking for a technical director. As it stands now, our team is seriously suffering. The team is seriously ill. And given the knowledge that he has espoused there and the deeper insight relative to the modern trend and, how the game is handled modernly, I think that is best suited and well placed to take up that job. We need him as House of Folk. I think that McLuna needs such a quality to partner him to bring House of Folk to where we ought to be. I think that is either two. I used to think that when people mention technicalities in football, it was just a mere rhetoric, like people just make mention of it. But given the interview we've had with him, I've come to appreciate, the need for us to have people who have the technical know-how and expertise. I think that is deeply needed. And I think he should consider the House of Folk job. We need him. For a big club like House of Folk to go down is not a good thing at all. So he should also help and bring his expertise to bear.
All right, Nijangba, thank you. Thank you so much, Nijangba from Adabraka. From there, we go all the way to the Brongahafo region, Brekum, where John has big roots. Good afternoon, Opong.
Nat, good afternoon, sir.
Thank you very much for joining us.
All right, sir. John, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Oh, John, it's been a while, but I'm very happy to hear your voice this afternoon on Joy FM. A friend called me to tune in because you are on Joy, and I said, wow, my own man is in the building. But to be frank with you, we've mixed you. And one thing I will tell him is, I just said, he said he has a team now. He should focus on the team as well. Of late, we do hear things, and we are happy. It was a whole player, building his own team for the future of these players. We know how much he can also invest in, and how these players also going to come out as big players in the near future. We are so with John. Sometimes he visit us back in the Brongahafo as well, because this is where he started. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Samuel in Kaswa is our last caller. Samuel, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please go ahead.
Okay, it's very beautiful hearing from John. For me, all what I would tell him that he should look at somebody like Pep Guardiola. Pep started from the ground, and he really takes his time and build himself well. You shouldn't listen to all those who are saying, John, they don't go for the goal. I think we really want to see the success of him, so he should just relax and push deep, and I think that's how will be the main for him. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So they have started the campaign for Accra Hearts of Oak. How do you feel hearing that, though? I mean, people clamoring for you to join Hearts.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Like, people appreciate what you are giving back to them, and it's like more educative way. It's not like I'm going to keep it to myself.
Yeah,
I'm going to do the same in my club, but I think it's good to share to other clubs who wants to take this advice, so that we can all meet in the same bowl, whilst we're building the young talent players who will be representing us in the near future. If I do it alone, I don't think it's a wise thing. That's why I'm sharing the message, and then to those who want to take it, let's build a good structure. I mean, good structure will help our boys to make them happy.
I like to talk about that, but you look good. I know you like to work out a lot, and you keep very active and all. But how's family? How the kids doing?
They're doing well, thank you.
Yeah. You're still married?
No.
You're not. Yeah. Okay. You're remarrying?
No.
You're dating?
I'm dating.
Wow. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask for any names. But that must have been a very tough curve in your life. I mean, you getting put in the cell, all of that back and forth, When you sometimes sit back and you're in your quiet time and you're reflecting on the happenings of your life, the high moments, the low moments, how do you feel about that particular curve in your life?
Yeah, but every day I say thanks to God, because I believe in God, and I know God makes things possible. Without God, I don't think John, would be sitting here today, because the things that I've gone through in my life, I'm not supposed to be alive today. So every day I feel like, okay, God has given me a chance to live. So I must be much appreciate, be grateful to God, and do the right things, because I know there was a lot of allegations here and there, which I'm not going to talk about it. But what I want to say is I thank God for my life, for me being here. Also, thanks to my family, my mom and my sisters, and then the loved ones around who care for me, who knows what John can do, what John cannot do. At the end of the day, in this world, it's not everybody who likes you as John Painter. And also sometimes people hear things and then also jump in and say something. But when they meet you and they see you in person, now they start to question themselves. It's not this guy, they say this about him. But it's the way you, the person, who carry yourself. If they say you are blue and blue is not good for people, then don't go to people and paint yourself blue, but make yourself white because they believe white is nice. So people see that you are blue, go there and being white. This guy is not blue, but he's white. It's just an advice. But I thank God for my life. And
Great.
Whatever happened previous, whatever is coming, I'm always going to put everything aside and do what God has asked me to do.
You and your ex-wife are on talking terms? You still talk to each other?
We talk because of course, we have kids.
Okay.
So the kids are important, and we are not fighting because if you are divorcee, it doesn't mean you are fighting. You have a right. Kids are most important in our lives, so we bring them up, and they must look after us because my dad brought me. My mom brought me to this
the
life.
dad of blessed memory, the great policeman.
It's my duty to also look after them. So.
Great stuff from John Painter. We're going to take his final words in a bit, but right now let's go over to Baba Tando in Argentina as she takes us close to Team Ghana and how we're getting ourselves ready for the start of competition at this year's World Youth Olympics.
To a certain point, beyond that, it's going to collapse. So we will need to have to cut our expenditures. Some ministers will have to go. And I I believe that it will come because you'll be looking at the numbers and it will get to a point where you say, well, I meant well, but
7,200 athletes from 206 member associations will line up at the most emblematic place of Buenos Aires, Avenida 9 de Julio, for the opening ceremony to allow for the official start to the 2018 Summer Youth Olympics. This will be the first time that a host city will open an edition of the Olympic Games outside the stadium, with the whole community in attendance. After all the pomp and pageantry that will be on display tonight, athletes and their coaches will get down to business in all of the 4 venues that have been earmarked for the Games. I visited the Games village in the Villa Soldati neighborhood in the south of Buenos Aires to meet Ghana's competing contingent, and I was rather met with a huge fanfare. Athletes from almost all federations were busily engrossed in a night of multicultural displays in the huge village and could barely spare anyone some time.
It's beautiful and there's so many people out. I love this.
I therefore had to fall on Chef de Mission for Ghana, Evan Siaboa, for all of the updates. He told me all was well in camp, as the athletes had acclimatized quite well in the last 4 days since their arrival into Argentina. CDM also mentioned that Deputy Youth and Sports Minister Perry Curtis Okujeto had visited the team on Thursday with an entourage to interact with and assure them of government's total support.
Team Ghana arrived a week before the main event. We have so far acclimatized in good spirit and in good hope. The weather conditions, we've managed to adjust up to this moment. Tonight we are having the opening ceremony, so preparations were far advanced for it. During the last week, there's been sessions and workout for the athletes. We've had a visit also by the Deputy Minister of Youth and Sport and the Deputy Chief of Mission at the Ghana Embassy here in Argentina. So it's all Team Ghana. and we are in high spirit for the games beginning tomorrow.
Ghana's events at the games will begin on October 7 with beach volleyball. Eric Chachu and Kevin Kabu will do Ghana the honors in that event. 2 days after that, on October 9, Ghana's captain for the Summer Olympics and swimming sensation, Abeku Jackson, will dive into the waters to compete in the men's 100-meter butterfly event. On Thursday, October 11, Ghana's only female athlete in Argentina, 16-year-old Sandra Mensima Owusu, will compete in the 58-kilogram weightlifting event.
So that was Baba Tando. There's more. I beg your pardon. There's more from her and from from that side of the world. More in our subsequent bulletins of sports. We're just about wrapping up this fine afternoon with John Paintsill. Let me read this message from Neo Kainunu. Nat, I wish John all the best. Let me engage him on possibilities to working together. Neo Kainunu, thank you very much for that message. There's this other one from Felix Adai in the United States of America. He says, hey, across, you are in the studio today. I'm always grateful to him for remembering the late Coach Afrani and buying him that car. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you very much, Felix Adai. John, we've run out of time. We're just about wrapping up in the studio. Okay, so we're looking forward to your launch. The establishment and the opening and the announcement of your team.
Sure. In 3 weeks from today, we will try and put up our best and then bring all of you in so that you come in and bless what we are going to start. Let's all come together and help the young talent players who are coming up, because they are going to be our future leaders, and then we will have so much trust in them. Like the message I shared earlier on, those who want to take it, I think they should take it, and we're going to help Ghana football.
Great stuff. John Paintsill, the legendary, here on the Joy Sports Link. And of course, we'd like to say a very, very big thank you to all of you for listening. And today, Darryl Kwa would have to gift me just 1 minute. So boxing is going to be big next weekend. Unfortunately, our phone lines got a little troublesome with us. We're unable to get you that interview I promised earlier with Moses Fuamweni. And so we're going to be doing that tomorrow and on the subsequent days as we build up to the opening of the big boxing league. Of course, there's been a big build-up event in Accra, in central Accra, that happened at the weekend. There's more. But of course, we'd like to say a very big congratulations as well to Augustine Holm. Augustine, Gus, congratulations to you. Augustine is in charge of, putting together all the big graphics here. So he's getting hitched. Darryl Kwao is already hitched in his lime green shirt and waiting to deliver the Joy Headline News at 2. He's off the market. He's off the market. I am also off the microphone for now. My name is Nathaniel Atto, and I have love for sport.
Coming up on Headline News at 2, questions over why no government has ordered the search for Lance Corporal Samuel Amedeka found guilty of the murders of 3